Hey everyone, so I'm here to review A Good Day to Die Hard with my friend Erich Rayher, who recently just created a YouTube channel of his own. So you can subscribe to that. I'll leave the link down below.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. And just wanted to go over the basic storyline or premise for A Good Day to Die Hard. It's basically John McClane. He goes to Russia because he's on vacation, and along the way, yeah. That's the premise for it. I can't even explain. Like, I think that's pretty much the basic premise
guys,
of it. Like,
I mean, really, the story of this movie is John McClane needs to go to Russia, get his son, and that's all they really give you, because the problem with this movie is
so many.
Yeah, they don't really tell you anything about the story. They don't tell you anyone's motives. They don't.
So it's not that we're not explaining the story to you. It's just that that is pretty much what is given.
There's no way to explain the story.
And that is the problem with this movie, because with a Die Hard movie, they're actually really good at telling stories, especially the first one.
Very subtle action-y stories. You're very, very compelling.
Yeah, and a lot of, I mean, even the fourth one, because the fourth one not too many people like, but even that one is still serviceable. But this movie is not serviceable. And that's from an entertainment perspective. But even when you dig down to the critical aspect, it's even worse. Like, the editing in this movie, it is so choppy. Like, is this the Taken franchise, or is this a Die Hard movie? Like, that's the question that's on my mind when I was watching this. Now, what were your thoughts on, like, the editing of this movie? Because for me, it was awful.
Well, I thought it was edited by someone who doesn't do their job very well, because granted, like you said, the Taken series is well known. Well, the first one not as
much,
but
good,
yeah, the second and third one are known for the very choppy, close-up, weird angled shots and stuff. And this movie is basically Taken, Die Hard Taken. It's very reminiscent of the Taken series, and it's edited poorly. It's very, very dark. It's the camera's dark. Not even just the movie. Can you tell the gray area of
like
it's like all Russia is
the lighting.
Gray.
Yeah, it's very gray. And the thing about the other Die Hard films that you'll notice is that they are kind of brightly shot, like how a film of that type should be, like of an action film. But with this movie, it's very dark, and it's like he thinks. John Moore, he's the one that directs me. He thinks that he's David Fincher, but he is not. He is not David Fincher.
It has the David Fincher color palette, but it does not have the David Fincher
camera
anything.
Yeah, and that's for and that leads to the cinematography. There are so many shaky camera moments, and there's way too many zoom in shots, close up shots. He zooms cut off the head.
He zooms in at one point during the first action set piece, the car chase. Oh. John Moore has the camera zoom in. He's supposed to be zooming in on John McClane's car, but he zooms in on a random pedestrian. He basically, it's almost like he's aiming, and then he fainted and kind of hit the wrong spot, and he was just like, well, you know what, we don't have enough of a budget to go back and get the right shot, so we'll just use this. And the people who go to see this movie are so stupid, granted, yes they are. No offense to anyone who actually liked this movie, but I just don't think that he really knew what he was. I don't think he knows what he's doing when it comes to directing. I think he doesn't.
And I feel as though pretty much everyone did, because Bruce Willis. I like Bruce Willis. I felt that he was a good action hero. I felt that he was good as in a drama like The Success. But recently, I know you liked Looper, but from 2010, I'd say, to now, it's just he's been doing paycheck roles. He's literally been okay, I'll say a couple lines of dialogue. I don't need to say it in a thoughtful or serious matter. I'll just throw it out there, and then just give me a gun, I'll fire off a couple rounds, and G.I. Joe Retaliation, anyone? That's literally his role.
I don't even remember he was in that movie.
Yeah, it was that movie was very forgettable. And then Jay Courtney, you can talk about Jay Courtney. I'm not going to talk about Jay Courtney.
Jay Courtney, all right. First, I took notes on this movie, and one of my first notes I took was Jay Courtney, because why? Great. I don't know how he gets jobs, for one thing. Alright, I probably am going out on a limb and saying Jai Courtney's a nice guy. He probably is a very nice guy, and I would gladly meet him and talk to him, and he probably really likes what he's doing. It's just the way that he propels his actions on camera, they don't fit whenever he and John bicker in this movie, he comes off as whiny when he should come off as earned. It should feel earned, and he just, for one thing, I can't get over the fact that he was in 2 fifth entries in a franchise and has ruined both of them. That other one being Terminator Genesis. Dude has blown up both franchises, and I mean, it's inevitable that Terminator is going to get made, but thanks to this movie, we will never get a true great Die Hard sequel ever again, probably. And if we do, I have no interest in it because everybody with this movie just ruined my interest in the franchise. I can't even watch the first one anymore without thinking of this one, knowing that John McClane is going to go down this road and end up in Russia and be a total douche to every Russian. It just
and it's not just that. It's not that it took place in setting. It's the fact that they have all these stereotypes of the Russians.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like stereotypes of Russians can be funny. They can be, but in the case of this movie, they are just so cliche. The villain, Hans Gruber, is one of the best villains in my opinion. He was in the first Die Hard, but in this movie, the villain is eating a carrot, and he is so annoying. Like, actually, no, there are what, 4 villains in this movie? Like,
yeah,
it's not even that. They're not focused. It's like choose 1 or 2 villains. Don't choose 4 villains, and they're all extremely underdeveloped. That's my 2 cents about the villains.
Yeah, the villains in this movie. Die Hard is a franchise known for its villains. Every movie has had a memorable villain. Even the second one,
yeah.
I will be honest, I don't remember him as much as the other ones. But I can still remember him being a menacing villain and a decent villain. You got the first one, Hans Gruber. The second one, it doesn't help my case. I don't remember who it is. But the third one's Hans Gruber's brother. The fourth one, you have...
I forget.
But he's still a compelling villain because he has a good motive for what he's doing. It feels very earned, his motive. This movie, you don't know why they're bad guys. He's a bad guy because, and I quote him, "You know what I hate about Americans? Everything." That's the most generic stereotype for Russians ever. The Russian who hates Americans. So many movies have done it before better than this movie, and the fact they went down this road, it just appalls me.
It's just the simple fact that they had a Russian villain. Like, why would they film it in Russia? Like, America is where they filmed it in all the other 4 Die Hards, and yet in this one they decided to go all Russia on us. Like, I don't get that. I don't like it.
Me either, because, like I said, they haven't left America for the other 4, so why now all of a sudden change the setting, thinking that it would be a good idea when, for one thing, like, John McClane as a hero just doesn't feel...
He feels out of place.
He doesn't...
And they could have done that whole contrast thing, but it just doesn't work. Which kind of leads to the action of the movie. This action is so poorly done from
yes, it is.
Like a filmmaking perspective and an entertainment.
Yeah, it's not.
It just doesn't work for me.
It factors into the camera work and the pacing and every other problem in this movie. The action is where it mostly shows because, granted, you can have a not so good story and still get away with the action if it's just a non-stop thrill ride, but this is just, it's not good action even.
And a hero needs to feel like he's in danger in an action film, and he flips in a truck like at least 6 times. It's like
6 times I counted, and I wrote a bunch of notes, and that's one of the major notes I took was how many times John McClane should have came close to dying, but Skip Wood's writing wrote him as if he was in the Avengers. Even the Avengers
has some ability to it.
Yeah, they end up in danger. Like, they have a sense of urgency. John McClane will crash a car, then get hit by a car, and be virtually fine. And
when that happens with the hero, you lose all credibility, and that's why the action. That's also why
first 20 minutes in the movie, I stopped caring about John McClane because I realized that no matter how hard he gets hit by a car, no matter how hard he gets punched or shot at, it's not going to do anything because he's a superhero.
All credibility is lost within the first 20 minutes. I agree with you there, and it just gets worse and worse as the film progresses. And then finally, by the time you find out who the 3rd or 4th villain is, you're like,
you lose track. I lost track of the villains in the middle of it because for one thing, none of them are memorable enough to remember who the real villain is. The one eats a carrot.
Yeah.
That's his most intimidating aspect, is he's eating a carrot. And I don't know whose idea it was to make him eat a carrot, but it just does not feel...
They probably got like a pedestrian off the street. It was like, hey, you're eating a carrot. You want to come on the set? Sure, sure. And then he came on the set, and then they just started filming. And they're like, you can improvise. You can do whatever you want. And hit final product.
And, I mean, just, there's no... The more we talk about this movie, guys, the more I feel like we'll just bore you with the details. And really, it's just don't watch the movie. Just go. You can find at least 30 other action movies that are half as good, or
half as bad. I mean, but I understand what you're saying, and for those that want good action films, just like comment below, like asking, or just like, you know, just ask me, and I'll let you know what are some good action films that are well filmed, where the hero actually feels like in danger, and it's just very intense.
Yeah.
And like you said, I wouldn't want to bore you guys. Just know that this is a bad movie. It is not a bad movie that you can watch with friends and enjoy. It is just a bad movie that if you show your friends, they're going to look at you and say, yeah, your credibility with movies has gone down the drain. And rightfully so, because this movie gets a half a star out of 5 from me. A letter grade of an F. What's your rating?
Even people who don't know a lot about movies, don't view it as an art like we do, still will go into this movie and see it and realize that it is not a good movie. One of my friends viewed this movie, and he said that about halfway through it, he stopped watching it and never had the desire to finish it. And I feel like that just says a lot about the direction and just the overall quality of the movie. And I give it same rating as you. I gave it a 1 at first, but I realized that the more I talk about it, the more I realize how awful this movie is and how much it does not deserve to be viewed by the public.
I agree. For those of you that are watching this, let us know how you feel about this movie. And subscribe to Erich Rayher's channel. I will have the link down below. And like I said, just let us know what you feel about the movie. And we will hopefully be making more videos together. And hopefully be making more videos for you guys to watch and see which movies are good and which movies are bad. Because that's what we love to do. We love movies, and we love showing that to you guys. So thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Have a good rest of your day, guys. Thanks for watching.